Okay, Jalen. So I know Dr. Ryder briefly introduced us, but I wanted to just give you a little bit more background about my role here in the clinic. So, of course, my name is Gwendolyn. I'm a behavioral health consultant here. And basically, my role is to work with Dr. Ryder's patients and then other patients of the practice regarding behavioral health concerns. And so I know Dr. Ryder just kind of filled me in a little bit when he introduced the both of us regarding some of the concerns you have about some recent anxiety you've been experiencing.
Yeah.
So, what I'm going to do today is just take a little bit of information from you, and then we'll go from there. Do you have any questions?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. So, what grade are you in, Jalen? I understand you're 18. Are you still in high school?
Yeah, I'm a senior at Las Vegas High School.
Okay. And are you engaged in any clubs or after extracurricular activities?
I was a part of Key Club, but that just ended.
Okay. So, was that something you ended, or was it the end of the semester, or?
It's like the end of semester time, so the club is done as of right now. It doesn't start back up till next year.
Okay, okay. So, how are your grades?
They're good right now.
Okay.
A's and B's.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And how's your relationship with your teachers?
I have no problem with any of them. It's pretty easy at the moment.
Okay. Do you have any goals for after graduation?
Just to start college mostly.
Okay. How about your friends? How's your relationship with your friends?
Um, that's good. I've
Good.
known a lot of them since middle school, so it's super easy around them.
Okay. So, a lot of long-time friends then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any romantic interests in your life right now?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So again, going back to some of what Dr. Ryder explained to me, he mentioned you've been experiencing some bouts of anxiety. Um, how often do you experience these feelings?
Um, maybe 3 to 4 times a week around that area.
Okay. And how long do those feelings last?
Maybe an hour or two.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how intense would you say those feelings are?
Um, Maybe about a 7.
Okay. So pretty intense, huh?
Yeah.
And what's usually going on just before you get these feelings of anxiety?
High moments of stress.
Okay. Can you give me an example?
Uh, like before test, before I have to go do something important, just stuff like that.
Okay. What kind of important things?
Um, Meeting up with my boss at work or stuff along those lines.
Okay. So where do you work, Jalen?
Walmart.
Walmart. Okay. And how many hours a week do you work?
Uh, it's usually I have to say around 30 hours a week.
Okay. How do you like the job?
It's easy. I just do stock, so I don't have to do much.
Okay. How's your relationship with your coworkers?
It's fine. Not too many complaints.
Okay. How about with your boss?
Oh, we're fine. Same, no complaints.
Okay. So you mentioned you usually get these feelings of anxiety during high moments of stress. So you gave me an example of before your test or before a meeting with your boss. Um, what else are you usually doing before you get these feelings?
Um, I don't know. That's usually like the main two go-to points because there's nothing really else that stresses me out more.
Okay, so you would say that you're most likely to have feelings of anxiety during these two types of situations.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else that may let you know that you're going to kind of have this feeling of anxiety? Do you
Um,
have any like physical indicators? Do your heart begin to race? Do you get a headache?
my hand starts to shake.
Okay, your hands begin to shake. Okay. And that's before each one of these situations?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, in the past or currently, have you tried anything to help alleviate these symptoms?
No, I have not.
Okay. And has Dr. Ryder made any suggestions to you about what you might be able to do to help work through these situations?
He told me to get more sleep.
More sleep, okay. So, how is your sleep hygiene? How many hours of sleep do you get a night?
At least 8 hours.
So, you are getting at least 8 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. And what time do you usually rise in the morning?
5:45.
5:45, okay. And you're usually down by what time?
By around 9:30.
Okay, okay. And when you go to bed, do you immediately go to sleep, or are you watching TV or reading a book?
I watch TV.
Okay, so you're watching TV in bed. Okay. And there are some techniques we can go over to help improve what they call your sleep hygiene. So really, ways to go to bed and go to sleep so that you are getting restful sleep. And some of those techniques include using your bed only for sleep. So whereas you're going to bed but you're laying there and you're watching TV, we might want to look at modifying that so that you only go to bed when you plan to go to sleep. So you might plan to watch TV maybe downstairs or watch TV in another room where you're not going to go to sleep. So you want to kind of reserve that space strictly for sleeping. And we'll see how that helps to improve your quality of sleep. And also, if you can squeeze some more time in there, I know you work and then you're pretty busy at school right now, but if we can get some more time in there for your sleep as well, I think that might help improve some of your quality of sleep also.
All right.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is give you this brief survey. It's a brief assessment actually, and it's just to help me better gauge whether or not we might be dealing with a general anxiety disorder or if we're just dealing with something that's occasional and situational. And so it's going to really help me to be able to better decide how we want to approach treatment for this particular situation. So what I'm going to do is give you this, and it's very simple. It's 7 questions. You read each one of the questions and then you're going to select on the scale where you would fall in with each one of those situations, okay? So here's a pen.
All right.
Okay, great. All right, so what I'd like to do in between now and your follow-up visit with Dr. Ryder next week is, Jalen, I'd like for you to keep a journal, okay? And what I'd like for you to track in this journal are your moments of anxiety. So I'd like you to capture the moments just before you start feeling very anxious or experiencing the sweaty palms as you mentioned, and then what you're doing just after that for each time that you experience this through the whole week until our next appointment next week. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. And what we're going to do with that journal is when you return, we're going to walk through some of those situations that you captured, and we're going to try and kind of identify some of the situational stressors that were going on at the time that you experienced these feelings of anxiety. And then what we can do from there is work together to identify some coping strategies so that you can kind of anticipate when you might become anxious and then incorporate some of those coping skills so that you can work through those moments of anxiety. Does that sound like something that's in alignment with what you would like to accomplish?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, great. And also, I would like for you to work on what we call a cue control relaxation technique. And that's basically where, with this particular exercise, I'm going to have you utilize a word to help yourself relax as you begin to feel more anxious in some of these situations that you mentioned. And the word I'd like for you to use is relax. Okay?
Okay.
So the way this works is when you are going into one of these situations, you know you're coming up on a test or exam, or you know you have to go in and meet with your boss when you get to work at Walmart. I want you to just repeat to yourself internally, relax, relax, relax. Okay?
Okay.
So for each one of those situations, and I also want you to track that information in your journal as well, so that when we meet again next week, we can talk about that particular coping technique and see how that helped you through any of those situations. Okay?
Okay.
All right, great. So do you have any questions for me at this point in time?
No, I do not. You answered everything.
Okay, great, Jalen. Well, then I'll see you next week when you return for your follow-up visit with Dr. Ryder. I'll be meeting with you as well. We'll go over the results of the assessment I just gave you today, and we'll talk further, okay?
All right.
All right, great. Thank you.
No problem.